For 2 years, the people of Rutherford County were told there was a serious problem with their property assessment system. State officials and local political leaders spoke publicly about failures and mismanagement. Headlines suggested something was broken and that strong intervention was needed. Now the review is finished. The numbers tell a very different story. The state of Tennessee has completed its full review of Rutherford County's property assessment system for tax years 2024 and 2025. After examining thousands of parcels and years of data, the state confirmed that the county's valuation system was already operating with a very high level of accuracy and mathematical precision. To understand what this means, you have to understand the scale of the system. Rutherford County manages about 135,821 parcels of real estate. The total assessed tax base is nearly $19 billion, and the estimated market value of property in the county is about $74.5 billion. This is one of the largest and fastest growing property bases in the state. When numbers are taken out of context in a system that large, they can sound dramatic even when they are actually very small. During the entire state review process, about $1,088,196 in additional tax revenue was identified. At first glance, that may sound significant, but when the numbers are examined closely, the story changes. Nearly 78% of that amount, about $847,002, did not come from local mistakes at all. It came from a state-ordered policy change that forced single-family rental properties to be reclassified from a 25% residential assessment rate to a 40% commercial rate. This was a technical change imposed by the state. It was not the result of local appraisers misjudging property values. In fact, many legal experts believe this policy may violate the Tennessee Constitution. What remains is the true measure of local corrections. Those adjustments totaled $241,194. They involved routine matters such as measurement updates, construction timing, and minor data adjustments that occur in every large assessment system. When placed against a $19 billion tax base, those corrections equal about 0.06%. The state audit team reviewed more than 6,000 parcels during the process. The corrections tied to local data averaged about $40 per parcel across 2 years of tax collection. In other words, after reviewing thousands of properties in one of the fastest-growing counties in Tennessee, the average adjustment was about the price of a family dinner. That is not evidence of a broken system. That is evidence of a system that was already working with extraordinary accuracy. The Division of Property Assessments has now confirmed that all required corrective steps have been completed and that the Rutherford County Assessor's Office is fully compliant. The large number sometimes cited by critics, $121 million in absolute value adjustments, mostly reflects routine valuation refinements across thousands of parcels in a system that already demonstrated an accuracy rate of about 99.84%. The facts now stand where accusations once stood. For 2 years, the Comptroller's Office and the Rutherford County Mayor publicly attacked and criticized the elected assessor of property, Rob Mitchell. They questioned his integrity and his work. They implied that the system he oversaw was failing the public. But the numbers show something else entirely. The review confirmed that the system was already accurate. It confirmed that the corrections were tiny when measured against the full tax base. And it confirmed that the largest revenue change came from a controversial policy decision made by the state, not from local wrongdoing. So a fair question must now be asked. Where is the accountability for those who made the accusations? Where is the apology to the public servant who stood firm and refused to use his office to impose questionable tax changes on ordinary citizens? And where is the public outcry against those who spent 2 years attacking the very person who was protecting taxpayers? Rutherford County deserves honest government. It deserves leaders who follow the law rather than bend it. And it deserves a public that pays attention when the facts finally come to light. Now, the facts are clear. The system worked, the taxpayers were protected, and the man who refused to compromise his principles has been proven right. The question now is whether the people of Rutherford County will demand the same level of accountability from those who tried to tear him down.